Hey, church family. I wanted to take this opportunity to consider the proposition of those who are trying to defund, dismantle, and even disband the police department. First of all, I want to assure you, I am completely opposed to every form of hatred, which includes racism. Those of you who know me, you know that I believe that we've all come from the same parents. We've all come from the same lineage. We've come from Adam and Eve, and therefore there's only one race, and that's the human race. And while it's true that we've all been given different levels of melanin, listen, our issue isn't a skin problem, it's a sin problem. And it's for this reason that I personally oppose every form of racism. Now, with that being said, I encourage every person to recognize that those who are using racial tensions here in our country as a basis for defunding and dismantling and disbanding the police department, these people are failing to grasp several important truths. First of all, it's important for us to understand that every day, more than 500,000 people call 911. And according to one count, an estimated 240 million calls are made every year to 911 in search of help. Clearly, our country relies upon those who have promised to serve and protect us. Now, I do have no doubt that there are some bad cops out there. I totally believe that there are cops who are motivated by racist hatred. At the same time, though, I'm glad to inform you that there are many more incredible cops out there who are ready to place themselves in harm's way for us. I know many of them. Therefore, those who would dismantle the police department because there are a few bad cops out there, these are unreasonable people who are making a very unreasonable proposition. Think about it like this. The person who would shut down every hospital in America because there are, in fact, a few bad doctors guilty of malpractice, they would hurt our country, not help our country. And listen, we would never consider shutting down the entire public school system because there are a few bad teachers out there who are guilty of molesting their students. We would never suggest that a peaceful protester should receive the same punishment of those who have engaged in the criminal activities of burning down buildings and looting. Therefore, those who are attempting to defund and dismantle and disband the entire police department because of a few racist cops, they're actually appealing to an extremely unreasonable solution for the problem. It's also important for us to remember that there are more than 100,000 black police officers here in our country. Now, I can't help but to ask, why aren't the anti-cop activists concerned about the families that those police of color represent? Those who want to defund and dismantle and disband the police department, clearly they don't care about the families of those black officers who would find themselves immediately standing in the unemployment line. With all of this in mind, I simply encourage every Christian, let's support those officers who are working so hard to keep us safe. Let's pray for them, and let's pray for them as they go out to protect the peaceful protesters, and let's pray for them as they go and apprehend the violent rioters. And let's also remember what Paul wrote in Romans chapter 13. Let's apply this to our lives because Paul declares this. He says, "Rulers are not a terror to good works, but to evil." Do you want to be unafraid of the authority? Do what is good, and you will have praise from the same. As believers, we ought to become law-abiding citizens who are doing what is good for the glory of God. And as we do, we can have the peace of mind that comes from knowing that those who walk in the Spirit are free from the condemnation of the law. And with that, I encourage you, let's continue to fight the good fight of faith, all for the glory of God.